Hey, how's it going, everybody? Here we go. Shout out to Yaya and his incredible performance at the school talent show. This sentence is an homage, pays homage to Jael. Jael's guitar playing, singing, and stage presence dazzled the audience. All right, real quick, see if you can find the grammatical mistakes in this sentence. All right, very good. You should have noted right away that not only is Yael the start of the sentence, but he's also a proper noun. So we're gonna underline this 3 times, which means the symbol to capitalize it. Very good. Anything else about the word Yael or the name that Yael? That's right, that is a possessive noun. It's Yael who's owning the guitar playing and the singing and the stage presence. So we need to do what? If those things belong to Yael, we need a apostrophe. That is correct. All right, so far so good. Yael's guitar playing, singing, and stage presence dazzled the audience. Notice the pauses in the sentence. Yael's guitar playing, singing, and stage presence dazzled the audience. All right, very good. We've got a series of 3 things, and we need to therefore separate those with commas. These are what are called gerunds, but the more important thing, at least at this point, is to just recognize that a series of 3 things is set off by commas. And there we go. Yael's guitar playing, comma, singing, comma, and stage presence dazzled the audience. Anything else? One last thing, we always need to pay attention to our punctuation mark. And of course, every sentence ends with punctuation. In this case, a period. All right, very good. Let's jump into chapter 1 of Robin Hood. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very exciting start. It's full of friendship, romance, and even a murder already in the first chapter. You may have picked up that Robin Hood is not Robin Hood's real name. It's actually Rob of Locksley. And Rob of Locksley is believed to be born sometime around the year 1160. So that's roughly 900 years ago, or a little under 900 years ago. The author describes young Robin Hood, or young Rob of Locksley, as handsome and athletic youth. He loves the woods, right? And already as a youth, he's showing signs of being a promising longbowman. He's really good with a bow and arrow, right? And you should take note in the book. It's got some really cool, what I would call like footnotes or annotations in it, but they're just these little blurbs. And let me see if I can't pull up a page. I'm doing this one-handed, but just a second, I've got it for you here. You'll notice, like, perfect longbow, a wooden bow about 6 feet long. It was so effective that English archers using them defeated mounted French knights in the 2 major battles of the 100 Years' War, Crécy 1346 and Agincourt 1450. So this book has lots of these little annotations in it. What's an abbey? Several buildings, including a church, where men or women lived a religious life. And then finally, gentle birth, someone born into the gentry, landholders, lower than the highest class, the nobility. So the book is full of these little annotations. This also reminds me that before I called Robin Hood a commoner, or maybe a peasant, but he's a member of the gentry. He's above a peasant, but he's not quite of the noble class of knights and kings and such. So he's kind of somewhere in the middle. 19 years old, something very tragic, sad, happens to Rob of Locksley. His father, who is the head forester in Sherwood Forest, his father has basically made enemies. And these enemies sabotage his father. They convince the king to arrest him for treason. Treason is one of those annotated notes. Treason is basically when you're kind of break loyalty or go behind the back of your leader. So anyway, Rob of Locksley's father is accused of treason. He's jailed. Robin Hood or Rob of Locksley and his mother are also jailed. They're kicked out into the snow, essentially homeless, and it's all too much for Rob's mother, and she dies. His father is later killed. I don't know exactly how many, but a good number of years go by because Rob's just a boy. But once he becomes a man, he has been raised by his uncle, Will. But once he becomes a man, he avenges his family. He's on his way to an archery contest in Nottingham, and he meets the forester who has replaced his father. This isn't the sheriff of Nottingham, mind you. This is just the forester who has replaced his father, and who was also the man who kicked his mother and Rob out into the snow. Basically, the two get into kind of a scuffle, a small altercation, a fight, and the head forester shoots at Rob, and Rob ducks the shot, Matrix style, just zips by and pulls out a hair, or just nicks a hair. Rob, who's a deadeye with his long bow, shoots and kills the forester, suddenly making him an outlaw. He's not wanted. He's killed one of the king's foresters. Nonetheless, Rob goes to the archery contest. He actually meets the merry outlaws who are hiding in Sherwood Forest, and he goes to the archery contest in disguise, hoping to become their new leader. And more than that, hoping also to kind of show up the sheriff of Nottingham and some of the other nobility, because these nobility, the members of the nobility, they're not good leaders. So anyway, he goes and he wins the archery contest because he's an amazing shot. And then when it comes time to give the golden arrow to the fairest girl in the crowd, he does not give it to the sheriff's daughter, but rather his old friend, Maid Marian, who it seems that he might have something of a crush on. And Rob heads back into the woods, where he is elected basically the leader of the Merry Outlaws. And that leads us to the question I have for you guys. I want you to write a quick paragraph, 4 or 5 sentences, explaining, showing how Rob proves himself as a leader. How does Robin Hood prove himself as a leader? Now, this is a good opportunity for you to write with vivid details. I don't want you to tell me that Rob's a good leader because he's brave, or Rob's a good leader because he's good with a bow and arrow. I want you to show me. Show me him winning the contest. Show me him standing up to the head forester in the woods that day. Show me as opposed to tell me. So write 1 paragraph, well written, pay close attention to all your conventions, indent, spell properly, use good grammar, and make sure you use vivid details. Remember, show, don't tell. Other than that, don't forget about your poems. Keep practicing Maggie, Millie, Molly, and May, and have a wonderful day. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. A rhyme there at the end.